Hey yo hey, hey be a way yo, hey yo hey, hey be a way yo, hey yo hey yo hey, hey be a way yo, hey yo hey yo. Remember me, when the sun comes up in the morning sky. There I will be, soaring with the eagle so high, feeling free. Remember me, down the road, hand in hand, you and me. Hey-oh, hey-oh, hey-oh. Hey-lo, hey, hey, be-oh, be-oh, hey-oh, hey, hey, be-oh, be-oh, hey-oh, hey, hey-oh, hey, hey, be-oh, be-oh, hey-oh, hey. Remember me, when the sun comes up in the morning sky. There I will be, soaring with the eagle so high, feeling free.
So hello and welcome to Domytriesthis This. So hi, this is Editing Domy breaking in here. Yeah, looking pretty. Yeah. Anyway, so I failed to remember that I was doing the missing Indigenous Mondays a little differently video-wise, and so yes, I defaulted to my standard videos, openings and stuff like that. It was not intended to be disrespectful in any way, shape, or form, so I hope nobody will take it that way. I will try to remember that I'm doing it a bit differently and we're not showing off the tea and all that other stuff. But this one also included the palette that we were doing a try on, so I guess you could say it's sort of a mix of the two formats. And I will try to remember to go back to the original format of starting from the beginning and all that stuff. So anyway, I hope you all will forgive me for the momentary lapse in judgment here, and not be upset that the video was done in this standard lighthearted welcome to Domytriesthis This with that I've done with everything else with the tea and all that, because it's not intended that way. All right, gonna let you get back to the opening and all that stuff, because it has a few other things in it as well that we're going to talk about. And yeah, so back to the video. I hope you brought your cuppa. Today's 64 hydro is It's Fine, I'm Fine, Everything is Fine. It should look kind of familiar. It actually matches a coffee mug my daughter got for me. It is adorbs. In it is not my typical cranberry mix. My son put in the wrong mix. So it has pineapple cranberry juice in it this time. Not my favorite, watered down. Some of them can stand being watered down, some of them not so much. The pineapple is actually better as just a juice without water. So a couple of things before we dig in. Yes, I'm back. I'm hoping to get a few videos, 1 or 2 videos a week. We'll see how it goes. Things have been going on. If you saw the notes from home, I hurt my knee. We went to con. Came back, my knee still hurt, so I stayed in bed for a little bit longer. When I went to con, I actually went on crutches, was probably a bad idea. The last day I used a cane, and the cane actually seems to be working better for me than the crutches did. So we are still on the cane. Anyway, after that, and then I also got sick. So there's a little bit of that still in my voice. I'm still sniffly. I apologize if that comes up. I will try to edit it all out. Hopefully I won't cough, sniffle, and all the other stuff too much for you. And so hi, hopefully we'll be back. There will be no gardening content. The garden's doing fine. The tomatoes are growing. We lost one plant, which is fine at this point. But they're doing fine. I just can't climb down the steep hill that we have to go down to do that. So my son is learning how to handle the garden, and he won't video. And if he did, he wouldn't video very well. It'd be all over the place. So don't expect much in gardening content for the rest of the season, which should probably be over the end of next month at the earliest. We do have flowers. We have some tomatoes growing. That's all I know. it's I can see them from the top of the porch. Anyway, so today we are doing another missing, murdered Indigenous Women Monday. Indigenous. I can talk. If I didn't do that at least once, it wouldn't be me. Mondays. And unfortunately, this time we're going to be talking about a young child while we make this look. She was 13 and she had autism, so she's kind of holds a place for me. But while we're doing that, I also ended up getting 2 new palettes, and we're going to be trying one of them out today. We are going to be trying out the DD Signature Broken Jewels. This is brand new. Smirched because I've used it, obviously. But yes, there's going to be this, and we will be talking about the circumstances for this child. She's only been missing for a year. Our previous ladies have been missing for much longer than that. However, for 1 year, you know, they say that 24 hours is bad. 1 year has got to be a lot worse. But we will get into all of that in just a minute. My mic died, which is why you're probably hearing a slight difference in the sound. And you will definitely notice it when we go over to when I make the look. So if my face is melting, it's because my mic died. But this is the look. And if you're interested in the look, if you're interested in the palette, or if you want to hear more about our girl, just go ahead and keep on watching. Okay, so, hi. It's been a mess. I'm a mess. It happens whenever, whatever, it's been a while, which it's been. All those updates will hopefully have been made before we get here, because here we are going to talk about another missing Indigenous girl this time. All right, so we're going to be working with the Broken Jewels. This is the new DD Signature Press Pigment palette. Give you a look of it unbesmirched, since we besmirched it before you saw it earlier. She's very pretty. Now, the way they did this is neutrals, colors, neutrals, colors. Most of what I'm going to be using is in the colors. Are you surprised? No. All right, so we can go ahead and get started. So, if I'm a bit fumbly, I'm sorry. It's been a while. I think I mentioned that it's been a while. Montana's highways are sprinkled with missing and murdered Indigenous people billboards as families face the reality that their loved one is one of the 194 missing persons statewide. 55 of those being Indigenous, 25 missing Native American children, 17 or under currently are listed on the Montana Department of Justice's Missing Persons database. In 2023, 116 Indigenous teens, 17 and under, were reported missing, according to a July 1, 2024 report by the Montana Department of Justice. One of those children is Sa Wade, Birdinground. She was born in 2011. She has been missing since October 6, 2024, from her home in grwm, Montana, on the Crow Indian Reservation. It's just sticking a little bit. That's quite the color. Sawade is an enrolled member of the Mandan Hidatsa. I apologize if I mispronounce any of these. And Arikara Nation and of Crow and Hidatsa heritage. She lived with her grandmother, Lorna Birdinground, and has an older brother. Her mother is deceased. She loves school. She'd be up by 6 to get ready and was considering trying out for basketball. Loves shopping. What girl doesn't love shopping, right? I guess there's a few out there. I shouldn't say that. There's probably a few out there. So, like I said, she loves shopping, especially for anime shirts, and enjoys spending time outdoors. She got along with her peers and her teachers. She also has autism. So, as a mother of an adult with autism, this is so scary to me. I mean, it really, really is. I could not imagine my son going missing now that he's an adult. As a child, I would have been freaking the fuck out. My son is in his 30s, but he's developmentally is closer to an impaired 14-year-old. I'd be frantic if he disappeared now. I've been beyond myself if he disappeared when he was 13, which is how old Sawade was. I'm trying very hard to pronounce her name correctly. I really am. So she lived in grwm, which is a private town in Bighorn County, Montana. I had to look this town up because really it is. It's privately owned. Someone built it. Anyway, near the Wyoming border within the boundaries of the Crow Indian Reservation, located at the southernmost edge of the land where Sitting Bull's camp was sighted just prior to the Battle of the Little Bighorn. Hopefully that gives you some. Oh my God. Sorry, folks. That surprised me. I don't know why. It's DD signature. Their stuff is absolutely gorgeous. That is amazing. My eyes notwithstanding. That just went right on. Oh, wow. Okay. Moving on. This was the site of one of the largest Native American gatherings ever recorded in North America. The town, with only 2 official residents, consists mainly of a town hall with multiple functions, including a Conoco, patrol station, gas station, a Subway sandwich franchise, and an arts and crafts store called the Trading Post, and the Custer Battlefield Museum, a private museum whose exhibits focus on the battle and the period of the Indian Wars. According to Sawade's father, Wade Birdinground, she really likes to be home where it is safe and comfortable and doesn't go anywhere. She's a good girl, sweet grandma's girl, who's quiet, kind, and artistic, and she likes to laugh. Her father's Facebook page reveals a father desperately still looking for his daughter. Her uncle, Levi Black Eagle, said that she was just like a regular teenager. I'd imagine there'd be some impairments. According to the FBI, Sawade has never before run from home or been in serious trouble. So she's not your standard kid that's been in trouble. She's not one of the adults we've covered recently that, well, I can't say recently. She's not one of the first, like the first two women who got involved with certain people, although she did have an impairment. And one of, I believe, Emily also was considered to have had an impairment with mental health, especially after the birth of her children. But Sawade didn't seem to be in that kind of space. Now, her disappearance is a little odd because Sawade was seen last seen in her home around 11 p.m. on October 6, 2024. On the morning of October 7th, her grandmother went to wake her only to find her gone. So she went out in the night, in the middle of the night, from her home. Oh God, these colors are just astonishing. It's believed that Sawade left through her bedroom window, which has a 7 to 8 foot drop. Apart from 2 flashlights, it doesn't appear that Sawade took anything, clothes, or any other possessions. She even left behind her phone and her headphones, which were very important to her, probably too important to leave behind. My son has, I think I can relate to this a little bit. My son takes, whenever we go somewhere, I'm gonna have to clean that up. My son takes eyeglasses with him to spin. It is unusual for, I think, for a child like this, with this kind of impairment, to leave behind something important. If she left willingly, it would have been, she must have thought it wasn't going to be very long. She would have been back very quickly, thought that she was going to be back very quickly. But if her headphones were something important that she took with her everywhere, to me, that kind of indicates that while it kind of might have been somewhat willing, at the same time, it was not anything. I would say she would have had to have gone with a friend, someone she knew. You'll have to tell me what you think, but when kids attach to things, even regular kids without like autism or anything like that, when they attach to things, I don't think they're inclined to leave those things behind unless they trust the person who's telling them to leave it behind, if that makes sense. Otherwise, I don't think that they would leave it behind on their own. So, depending on the way her particular autism presents, she could have been lured out of her room, like I said, by someone she knew. There was a time when my son was very young that he wasn't social, but nowadays he's not only more social, but also doesn't have the typical cautionary filters that most of us have when it comes to strangers and people that we say to trust. And in fact, if for some reason there's someone that we trusted for a while that we determine is not to be trusted anymore for whatever reason, he always asks why, and he can't seem to understand how those relationships change. So Sawade lived in a small community, and I wouldn't be surprised if she too lacked the filters and sense of self-preservation that would make her see something as dangerous, particularly if she knew the person. The FBI took her phone, though investigators are also looking at one particular phone call that may be the last person Sawade spoke with before vanishing. They've otherwise found nothing useful. Now, sure, some of you are going, what about Amber Alert? This case does not meet Amber Alert criteria, which requires proof of being taken without consent, but a missing endangered persons alert out of concern for her safety, which is a different kind. MIPA is a modified alert for cases that don't meet Amber criteria, such as runaway, missing children, children involved in custody disputes, and missing adults, according to the Montana Department of Justice. It allows Montana law enforcement agencies to take advantage of some of the same resources used in Amber Alerts to quickly get the word out to the public and other law enforcement around the state and the region. Yes, I'm aware I need to get down to doing both of these at the same time. It is very hard with my eyesight to do that, unfortunately. Speaking and doing the things, I should say reading and doing the things, are hard to do together like that. Anyway, the search for Sawade has been extensive. It has included the use of grid searches with horses, four-wheelers, drones, canoe teams, and canine units. The Incident Command Center has been established at the Crow Tribal Historic Preservation Office to coordinate the search efforts, and the team has included the Bureau of Indian Affairs, the Bighorn County Sheriff's Department, Crow Tribal Security, search and rescue team members, and the Montana Air National Guard, and additional volunteers and resources from other counties across the state. The FBI and Crow Tribe put up to a $5,000 reward each. So they've made extensive searches and they still haven't seen her, which also makes me wonder if she was taken by someone she knew. And who is aware of the search. Or it is quite possible she wasn't taken and she went out with whoever it was, went out with someone and something happened and they're being quiet about it. So it's been a year later. So she's 14 now. And I did double check to make sure before I did today's filming that she still hadn't been found. There's still no sign of her, which is kind of odd to me. Okay, so one thing I have noticed about my son, he likes to take walks and stuff, but he also likes to stay local. Kids with, to my knowledge, kids with autism stay where they feel safe. They stay with their family units. They stay near their homes. for the most part. Those of a higher functioning ability may be more independent than my son. And adults, obviously, as they get to be adults, they get to be more independent. But at 13, I just can't imagine this child going off on her own someplace without a friend or someone involved. Someone she knows. Would have to be someone she knows. Anyway, I'm puzzling it through a lot. I mean, because I have an autistic kid. And so this kind of case, it just breaks my heart even more. I mean, it's a child, but it's a child with a disability. She was an active, happy child. She apparently was communicative, got along well with her peers, got along well with her teachers. They said she was happy and smiling and liked to laugh. She liked to do shopping, things like that. So I'm just having a hard time, like with my son. He would not just wander off without permission. And I'm having a hard time imagining this girl taking off with someone or on her own, someone she doesn't know or on her own, without permission in the middle of the night. It's just a really very strange strange circumstance when you're talking about an autistic child. Anyway, Sawade is 5'4" tall, weighs between 120 and 130 pounds, has brown eyes and curly brown hair. When last seen, she was wearing a black hoodie with mushrooms on it, an anime t-shirt, basketball shorts, and a purple slip-on Skechers brand shoes. She may have a black and purple Adidas backpack with her, and she was known to wear an elk tooth necklace. Hold on, let me double check that. Didn't they say she left the backpack behind? No, she left the phone and she left her headphones behind. But so apparently the backpack is not in her room when she's gone. And if they're saying she is known to wear an elk tooth necklace, that must not have been in her room when they found her missing. That's interesting. Contact if you have info. The Crows Search and Rescue at 406-839-3187. This will be listed down below. You can also contact the Bighorn County Sheriff's Office at 406-665-9798. The BIA-OGAS Missing and Murdered Indigenous Unit by texting 847-411 or calling 1-833-560-2065 or emailing OJS_MMU at BIA.gov. There is an agency, FBI Salt Lake City field office. You can call them at 801-579-6195. However, I couldn't find a case number for her. Alrighty, so I'm going to go finish this. That is our missing girl. I'm going to go finish this look, and then we'll come back and do all the things that we normally do and discuss it some more. Okay, so that is our case. All right, so let's go ahead and get through this palette very, very quickly first, and then we'll get to some final comments the way we do. Here is the final look. It's probably falling apart and is very messy. Like I said, my mic died. I tried to charge it. It's all acting funny. So we are just going to go with no mic I'm unhappy with this. I enjoyed this mic, and I'm really sad that all of a sudden it's decided not to work. So hopefully I will get it fixed and get it working again, because I'm going to be annoyed if it only worked for like, what, half a dozen videos and then tanked. All right, so let us go ahead and talk about the palette first before we get to closing thoughts about Suede. Suede? I haven't written down how to pronounce it. I'm terrible. We all know. I absolutely adore the palette. This look is unusual for me in that I've only used 2 shimmers. Well, I guess technically 3. I used the light green on the inner corner and that beautiful orangey color on the outer. Some of the issues I'm having right now with the color staying is because my eyes are hooded. But I also used on the bottom, along the outer edge here, this color Rose Ruin. Along the very bottom line here, it's probably a mess washed away. But the rest of it was matte. So I used 5 different mattes for this. And y'all know I'm a shimmer girl. But the palette is wonderful. It is, like I said earlier, it's brand new. It should still be available. I think it's worth every penny. I don't think it's that expensive. It'll be listed down below. You'll have to let me know if you're thinking about picking her up. It's gorgeous. And the way they set it up is really nice too, with 2 rows of basically neutrals with 2 rows of really nice color in it. So beautiful. I really want to play with this blue one of these days, very soon. Very, very soon. This is a palette that is technically a little unusual for me because of those 2 rows of neutrals, but with the shimmers in there, it makes it worth it. A couple of these browns probably won't work for me. Looking at them, one of them may not. Well, they might. I might be able to, well, okay, so one of the browns is going to be problematic for me, I think. I wanted to use this sort of twilight gem that's supposed to be on the redder side. Yeah, that's gorgeous. But I was afraid with all the greens it would look too Christmassy, so that's why I chose not to use that. However, I highly recommend it. You'll have to let me know if you're going to go ahead and give it a buy. I'll be honest with you guys, Nomad has fallen to 3rd place for me, which is just weird because Nomad has been 1st place for so long. And then it was sort of head and head with Cosmic, and now Cosmic is 1st, Dee is 2nd, and Nomad is 3rd. So with Glamlight being 4th. Their formulas, they're my favorites, and they're that order in particular. So if you're interested in doing that. Suede, let's talk about Suede. That's what we should be talking about. I really feel for this family. I mean, as I noted when we were making this look, if it were me with my son, I would be beyond frantic about it. At his age now, and he's like going on 30 soon. Frighteningly enough, if he's not there already. My children's age is just too many numbers. But he's an adult, and yet he is, like I said earlier, he's developmentally 14. He's considered an impaired 14. So him disappearing would just, I would be out of my mind. When he was 13, I don't know how I would have continued to, I would have gotten past it in any way, shape, or form. It's been a year, and that generally does not bode very well for missing children. Missing children tend to, in general, not be recoverable, I guess, would be the phrasing. They're harder to recover after 24 hours, is my understanding. So this family, I just feel for them. I really feel for them. And I just keep thinking, you know, she had autism. Apparently she was friendly. So that, you know, children with autism have a reputation for being antisocial. They don't want to really hang out with other people, and sometimes they're considered borderline violent and stuff like that. I think that was before we had a lot of the interventions that we have now. And she's younger than my son, so she would have had the advantage of those interventions. That said, autism still has, still usually places some cautions and social awkwardness in the characteristics of the children, really, to some degree. It can be overcome. So I don't think that my son, even after as long as we've, as old as he is and as long as we've been working with him to be social, I don't think even my son would take off with a stranger. I have a hard time imagining him taking off with a stranger at 13. So whatever happened, based on personal experience and knowing that autism is a spectrum and his characteristics don't necessarily translate to her, I still think that if another person was involved, and I don't see a child going out on their own for no reason. So if another person is involved, which is likely, it would also likely be someone they knew. She left behind, apparently, the headphones, which in a way serve as maybe not a stim item. My son uses his glasses to stim, but they're a comfort important item. When they say it's an important item to someone with autism, it is something that they don't like being without, because it is something that they can use to calm their distress when things get too much. So my son spins his glasses and he tunes out, or attempts to tune out the world when he is distressed. It sounds like those headphones were a way for her to deal with distress and to tune out things that were causing her issues. So leaving those behind tells me that whatever was going on to her, I mean, assuming someone didn't come in and just snatch her up and take her out, that's a big assumption. But there was no noise in the house. All they found was the window open. And apparently her necklace isn't there. And I'm thinking her backpack isn't there because they said she could be having this backpack. She always wears this necklace. So those things were taken with her. That does not tell me it was a snatch and grab type situation. That somehow she was lured out. That being assumed, it sounds like someone said, "Oh, just come out. It'll only be for a few minutes," or whatever. So she didn't think she needed the headphones. So she didn't take them because she didn't think she would need them. Which tells me that if she went on her own, she thought that this was going to be a very short, whatever it was supposed to be. And short visit, short time. It was going to be a short time period. Otherwise, she would have grabbed the headphones. Now, on the reverse side of this, if she was snatched and grabbed, that could have been a stranger, and they would have left the headphones behind. But why would they take the backpack? There's just, some of this is so odd. The father is absolutely beside himself, the way I would be. I don't think he's involved. Sounds like the grandmother isn't involved. I don't have anything on the one uncle that said something. It's a small community. Mind you, there's only two legal residents, but there are others that live in that area, and it's apparently a very small community. So it's the whole thing is just weird. Where did she, who took her? Where did she go? Where would she go on her own that she couldn't be found later? It doesn't sound like there's much there. So anyway, I hope you will take a look at all the information down below and consider, if you know anything, if you can, share the video, do all that. I would love to hear your thoughts on it as well. What you think could have happened, all of those things, you know, all the things. I would love to hear your thoughts on it. And like I said, all the information will be down below, and hopefully she can be found, and hopefully it'll be, I want to say, a relatively happy ending to this. And I say relatively because something like, if she was taken, something like that is going to be traumatizing for any child. For someone with autism, I can't even, my son doesn't understand when we tell him somebody is bad to be around. So autistic children in general, from what I've seen in the classrooms he's been in and stuff, they may be wary, but they don't necessarily look at people as evil. So being confronted with something like that, I think, would be even more traumatizing, because you can tell little kids that there are bad people out there and they will get it. Those with autism don't necessarily get it. Not all of them. It really depends on where they're at on the spectrum. And not knowing how she was taught and whether or not she understood that concept. If she didn't, if they do find her alive, and I really hope they do find her alive, this is going to be horrific for her. And my heart breaks for this baby. My heart breaks for this family. This is just absolutely, it's beyond understanding. Anyway, so yeah, this upsets me. It's sort of in my wheelhouse. It's in my family understanding. So this obviously really upsets me. You know, any missing child in general upsets me. We all know what usually happens with missing children. So I just really, really feel for this family, and I really do hope they find her alive, and that she will get any and all the help that she needs to heal from whatever has happened. And I hope we get a full story, because this is horrific. This poor, 13 isn't a baby, but this poor baby girl, she needs to be home, and she just needs to be home, okay? Anyway, this is upsetting. And a lot of these women that we're going to be covering, these women and girls that we're going to be covering, are going to be upsetting. This one is really, really upsetting to me. I think whoever took her took advantage of the autism, of her lack of understanding. Yeah. Because honestly, I think any other child would have screamed or something. I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure children go missing from homes all the time, but I honestly think she got lured. I think somebody she knew, it had to be someone she knew, said, hey, look, we want to go do this. Would you come do this with us? It won't take long. I think that's what happened. And I think that's what they need to be looking into. But I'm not privy to any of the other, if there's any other information on the family and what they've looked for. So Anyway, like I said, I hope you will go ahead, like, share, and subscribe. I'm going to go ahead and drink my juice, and we're going to go ahead and get out of here. As we all know, I love my girls. I love my dragonettes. And I really do hope you have a good one.